Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to another episode of The Griot on the Griot channel. Today we're going to be reviewing this documentary about Easy E and his allegedly support for the police. The same man who did F the Police. Okay, let's go ahead and play this, man. Give me a thumbs up button and subscribe.
As Ice Cube found himself increasingly focused on study and self-reflection in the early 1990s, Eazy-E and Dr. Dre were enjoying the lifestyle that came with their celebrity. Around the release of their 100 Miles and Running EP in 1990, NWA held its first of two wild and wet pool parties, which drew hundreds of guys in shorts and polo shirts and women in bikinis. The first bash, which featured open bars, DJs spinning NWA songs, and lots of twerking before twerking was a word, was held at Eazy's Westlake house. Ren said they would have thrown the parties in Compton except the police would have broken them up. And he was probably right. MC Ren, DJ Yella, Eazy, and Dre lounged with women in their laps, and the wet t-shirt contest had a $500 prize. Before sunset, the party devolved into a virtual sex show, with beer bottles turning into sex accessories.
What?
I had a drink in one hand and was smoking a blunt with the other, said rapper CPO Boss Hogg, who was signed to MC Ren's label for Capitol Records. Eazy and Dre also threw a pajama party at the ornate downtown Mayan Theater, with Eazy donning a turban and a Hugh Hefner-style robe. Go-go dancers gyrated on raised blocks above the packed dance floor, while women vied in the freaky lingerie contest. How has our lifestyle changed? Dr. Dre asked, repeating an interviewer's question between swigs of 8-Ball in the studio while they worked on NWA's second full-length album, Niggas for Life. Eating a little bit more.
That thumbs
a
up
little bit
button.
fatter, he said, patting his... Only thing changed is our tax bracket, said DJ Yella. Indeed, Dre had put...
You know, I ain't gonna front, man. Dre ages pretty well. Look how young he looks right here. This is what, like in the 1990. Look how young he looks right here. But if you look at him now, Dre is almost in his 60s. He looks good.
On a few pounds, but they were also living much larger. At least Eazy, Heller, and Dre, who joined the other two by purchasing a French colonial mansion in their Calabasas gated community in 1991. Miss Chalet outfitted the house with marble tables and special touches, included a huge fish tank that could be viewed from both sides, as well as a recording studio. Dre liked to host barbecues by the pool, with deafening music, and even amateur boxing matches. Jonathan Gold, writing for Rolling Stone, asked if his neighbors ever complained.
Amateur boxing matches?
They tried to, he said, but I slammed the door in their face. I paid $1 million plus for this house, so I figure I can do whatever the fuck I want to do in it. He spent recklessly to keep the good times going. He said he bought between 8 and 10 cars, Ferraris, Mercedes, Corvettes, and bankrolled a non-stop soiree. You could come over on Sunday morning, and there's just people laying out on the floor, asleep, he said.
Mom said.
Heller lived a couple of blocks away. His cars included a white BMW with the license plate RTHL-SS2, which Eazy bought for him. The rapper's matching version, same make and model, had RTHL-SS1. Eazy's pad, 2 doors down from Heller, boasted Graceland levels of goofy grandeur.
Oh, look all that big.
A neon sign in the marble foyer read, Eazy's Playhouse. The house included a pitch-black TV room complete with a laserdisc player, fluorescent pillows, and mirrors all around. He'd impress girls by bringing them there. A select few, said his assistant, Sharice Henry. Eazy also collected various monster movie mementos, including a life-sized version of Hellraiser villain, Pinhead, with the nails in his skull, and a creepy Chucky doll from the horror movie Child's Play. Despite the fancy trappings, Easy didn't actually spend much time at the Calabasas home, since it was so isolated in the valley. He let friends and ruthless artists live
Oh,
there,
that's a nice
as
one.
well
Ooh,
as at
that one.
his main house in Norwalk.
That's nice.
Easy also had a home in Woodland
Is that the
Hills,
one?
close to Ruthless's
That's
offices,
beautiful. That
and in
one
the
is
shadow
nice.
of the 101 freeway. You want to move in? Easy asked rapper Stefan, almost immediately after he signed with Ruthless in 1993. The Woodland Hills home's previous occupant, Easy's girlfriend, Tamika Woods, had moved into yet another of Easy's homes, in Topanga.
Mm.
Stefan took him up on the offer. It was like winning the lottery. The Republican Inner Circle. Despite the lavish living, Easy kept his focus on business. As he pondered how to promote NWA's upcoming second album, Niggas for Life, an opportunity fell into his lap. He'd somehow ended up on a Republican Party mailing list. It was likely owing to a charitable donation he'd made. In early 1991, he accepted an invitation from Texas Senator Phil Gramm to hear President George H.W. Bush speak to a group of campaign contributors called the Republican Senatorial Inner Circle. Somehow, nobody put two and two together, and Easy received a follow-up letter from Senate Majority Leader Bob Dole, which noted that Inner Circle members included Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sam Walton, and Estee Lauder. The cost? A mere $2,490 for 2 tickets, one for him and one for Heller, to an event called Salute to the Commander-in-Chief on March 18, 1991. 2 months UA album would drop. It would pay off.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, this is off subject, but Arnold Schwarzenegger's going to hell. I'm gonna tell you why. Because he let Tookie Williams get killed. He could have saved that man's life. But they put him up to letting Tookie Williams be executed. You could have, if it's up to you to save somebody's life, you're supposed to save their life. Just because you want me to kill the person don't mean I should do it. Y'all had this man on death row, and then I get into a position where y'all ask me, and the man asks me, hey, can you pardon me? They're getting ready to kill me. Can you pardon me? You know what I'm saying? I would pardon him. I would just give him life. I'm not going to. Somebody come to me, you're supposed to be able to say, well, I don't know. I'm going off subject. Let me go ahead and finish playing this.
Wright would characterize as $1 million worth of publicity. Easy arrived at DC's National Airport, carrying his suit in a bag over his shoulder and signing autographs for fans.
I'm going to do that in another video. I'm going to talk about it in another video about Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Ruthless had tipped off CBS News, and Bob Schaefer was there to report on the absurdity of the whole thing. Do you think the Republicans know who Easy is? He asked Heller, who responded that he doubted it. But as for us, the Ruthless manager went on, we're happy to be here. The event was held at the Omni Shoreham Hotel, not the White House as is claimed in the Straight Outta Compton film and often reported, and went off without a hitch. Easy showed his ticket, went through the metal detector, and dined on roast beef and salmon. Not everyone thought Easy's cavorting with right-wingers was funny. Though before the luncheon, Easy's PR flack told the Los Angeles Times that Easy was a big fan of Bush, Easy afterwards switched gears in an interview with Spin, complaining that many, including director Spike Lee, failed to get the joke. I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. I don't give a fuck. I don't even vote. The incident wasn't Easy's only brush with political controversy. He enraged the hip-hop community by publicly supporting Theodore Brazano, one of the officers charged in the Rodney King trial.
It's about money.
Easy met Brazano through his lawyer, Harlan W. Braun, who also did work for Ruthless, and the rapper attended the 1993 federal trial. At a time when most people believed all 4 cops to be guilty, Easy put his reputation on the line by literally standing next to Brazano. The pair made the Los Angeles Times front page, prompting Ghetto Boys rapper Willie D to call Easy a sellout. Easy responded that he believed Brazano had attempted to stop the beating and that, despite the media's characterization of the 4 officers as white, Brazano was a Latino. It is possible to be both white and Latino.
I don't think they are.
Indeed, Brazano did not hit Rodney King with a baton, and broke ranks with the other officers at trial, saying their use of force was not justified. But he can clearly be seen in the video kicking King in the back of his head with his boot. Sure, I've seen that little stomp Brazano does on the video, and I'm not saying it's justified, but we don't know what it was about, do we? Easy said. It could have been him just trying to tell Rodney, stay down, man, stay down. Who's to know?
Whatever.
Easy sometimes didn't appear to be very sympathetic
I
toward
doubt
King.
he was saying that.
In a 1991 interview with Spin, he said, Rodney King's all fucked up, man. He going out with transvestites now. He don't know what the fuck's going on.
What?
He don't know his ass from a hole in the ground. A rapper in Eazy's own camp named BG Knockout was so enraged about Eazy's support of Brazano that he wrote a diss song about him. Ruthless rapper Toker said Eazy later regretted standing by the officer. Whatever the case, one can't help admire Eazy's chutzpah. He never did what anyone expected.
They paid him to do that.
This, along with the Bush fundraiser, were vintage contrarian Eazy-E. Temporary insanity. In May 1991, Niggas for Life spelled backward debuted at number 2. Many reviews were not flattering, but it reached Billboard's top slot the next week, displacing Paula Abdul's Spellbound and making it the first gangster rap album to hit number 1. Buoyed by a new system implemented by SoundScan that determined rankings not based on dodgy figures supplied by record store employees, but tabulations of actual sales. It was a watershed event, the moment when rap began its decades-long dominance of mainstream music. Niggas for Life also marks a great leap forward in Dr. Dre's production skills. Whereas Compton was all over the place sonically, Life is mostly unified in its doomsday grooves. Always Into Something is a slow building.
Man, this is one of the dopest album covers. If y'all have ever, for you people who are under the age of 25, and I would say maybe even, I would say under the age of 30, you got to go check out the NWA N-Word for Life. It's, you know what I'm saying. We know I can't say it on YouTube, but y'all know what I mean when it's not N-Word for Life, but it's, y'all know what word I'm trying to say. N-I-G-G-A-Z, number 4, Life album. This album cover is so now it's you look at it now, it's very artistic. It was so artistic and so ahead of its time. As you can, you know, it was a little bit demonic. Matter of fact, Ice Cube even did an interview talking about this album cover. He said, if this was, he said, in a way, he think that it's good that he left NWA before the second album came out, because he said he wouldn't have done an album cover where he's dead, laid out, and his soul leaving his body. He said, I wouldn't have done an album cover like that anyway. He said, if they would have wanted me to be in the album cover, I wouldn't have did it. You know what I'm saying? So we would have had a problem right there. He's like, that's putting out negative energy of you, of you leaving here young. You know what I'm saying? So he said he wouldn't have done this type of stuff. You know, it's crazy that Ice Cube thought about that he was young. He's like, I saw the album cover, and he was like, I wouldn't have been on the album cover like that. Because basically, if you look at the album cover, I always thought this album cover was so cool, though. If you look at the album cover is all 4 of them have been murdered. You can see that's Yellow. Yellow. That's Yella, DJ Yella. You see that's, let me see, let me show y'all. I have no pointer. You can see this is Dr. Dre right here. And that's DJ Yella. And this is, it looked like Easy right there. And there's MC Ren. So basically, if you look at the picture, it took me a while to get this picture, but I remember my older cousin had the album, and I remember looking at it was a CD. The CD came out, and I was like, I don't get this album cover. And you look at it, it's the people, it's the police. You see the it's been roped off. You see the people right there, and then you see Rand coming out as basically these are their bodies right here with the white cover over it. They've been all four of these. You see, you got Yellow's body right here, yellow. This is Yellow's body right here. This is him coming out of there, and you see this is Dr. Dre getting up out of his. See what I'm saying? It's very kind of demonic, really. Like it's kind of creepy. Then you see Easy rising up out of his body, out of his his body's covered up. You know, then you can see their hands on the side. You see Rands over here. So it's kind of it's kind of crazy. Like they all it's basically all four of them murdered. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much in this album cover. Uh, but I don't know. Back then everybody thought this was kind of that's kind of. But look at it now. It's actually kind of ahead of its time. It's actually pretty cool, but kind of demonic. Anyway, I just wanted to share that little tidbit. Let me continue on.
Sonic masterpiece, kicking off with a spoken word MC Ren introduction and a quick Dre verse before unveiling the alien sounding high pitched Moog synthesizer sound, similar to the funky worm Dre had employed on Dope Man. It would become a staple of Dre's solo work. Hoping to capture the magic of Parliament Funkadelic member Bernie Worrell's eerie melodic keyboard sounds, Dre had engineer Colin Wolfe go out and buy a Moog. On Niggas for Life, Dre realized that less is more, that silence on a track can be just as important as sound. Dre has a lot of space in his music. It's open. There's not always too much going on, said his future collaborator, DeJuan Parker. The bass lines are mostly played live in the studio. The funk of James Brown was also in his ears. And there's a real musicality. When you add in the taunts from Above the Law and Cocaine, along with Dre's own much improved efforts as an MC, Life delivers on its rebellious R-rated promises. Once again, DJ Yella received a co-production credit on the album, but his contributions weren't on the level of Dre's. Owing to Ice Cube's departure, there's not much political commentary, though Niggas for Life addresses their use of the inflammatory word in the title. Why do I call myself a nigga, you ask me? MC Ren raps, because police always want to harass me. We didn't give ourselves this name, Easy elaborated around this time to a quasi-outraged NBC News reporter who asked why he used it so often. People have been calling us niggas for years, and so we carry that word. To promote the album, Easy portrayed himself in the media less as a street soldier and more as a cartoonish psychotic with duct tape over his mouth and glasses missing a lens.
Yeah.
For Arsenio, he donned a straitjacket and hockey mask. He even began putting together, but eventually scrapped, an album called Temporary Insanity. Today,
I remember that.
Niggas for Life is not remembered as warmly as Straight Outta
Did that ever come
Compton.
out?
Ice Cube's voice is definitely missed. Whereas Cube's enemies were clearly defined, those who would suppress the black man. Life's themes and antagonists aren't well drawn. Niggas for Life features blowjob tutorials, stories about girls who won't give it up, and tales of violence against women that range from cartoonish to appallingly realistic, especially considering Dre's history of abuse. 'Cause if a bitch tries to diss me while I'm full of liquor, I smack the bitch up and shoot the nigga that's with her. Dre raps on, find 'em, fuck 'em, and flee. But man,
Poetry. God. Oh, man, niggas shooting this. Oh. Woo. Shakespeare.
only it seemed shocking for the sake of being
Make music
shocking.
like that no more.
We were trying to see how far we could push the envelope, Dre admitted. MC Ren perhaps found that limit on She Swallowed It, in which his character preys on a preacher's 14-year-old daughter. The bitch sucks dick like a specialized pro. She looked at me, I was surprised, but wasn't passing up the chance of my dick
Baptized.
getting
Hell yeah.
baptized. I'd rather fuck you.
Yeah, it's nowhere in hell they could release that album now. Jesus. I remember that song. Oh, hell no. How they would never be able to release this album nowadays.
Easy's lounge-style parody of Bootsy Collins' I'd Rather Be With You flips a straightforward love song into an Andrew Dice Clay-style seduction anthem. Singer Jewel, who'd recently done an impromptu audition for Dre in the corner of a club, sings on the chorus. I was thinking, oh my God, my mom is going to kill me for being on the song, she remembered. Owing to the album's sex and violence, reaction from social conservatives was swift. Libraries banned the album. British police confiscated thousands of copies, and Minnesota's Attorney General Hubert Skip Humphrey III, son of the former vice president, called its lyrics nothing but filth, and threatened to prosecute Minneapolis-based record store chain Musicland Group if it sold Niggas for Life to minors. Ultimately, the Minneapolis City Attorney's Office determined the work didn't violate Minnesota's statutes. Despite receiving little radio airplay, they didn't bother recording a radio-friendly track without cursing. Niggas for Life went platinum. We ain't selling out. Crossing over to them. Let them cross over to us, MC Ren said at a live show in 1989. He had no idea how prophetic his words would be. Beating up the charts.
Oh, wow.
The nationally syndicated TV hip-hop show, Pump It Up, launched in 1989, a counterpart to Yo MTV Raps that mixed videos with artist interviews. The program was hosted by Dee Barnes, a petite, Afrocentric rapper from a duo called Body and Soul, who were signed to Delicious Vinyl and rapped on We're All in the Same Game. They once recorded a demo in Alonzo Williams' house, co-produced by Dr. Dre. Barnes' interviews, like her music, tended to be upbeat, though she didn't shy away from asking tough questions. She, along with her sometime co-host, ruthless rapper Stefan, featured everyone from De La Soul to Biz Markie to NWA. Barnes began hanging out with Dre at one point, though it's unclear in exactly what capacity. When Dre was asked by The Source in 1992 if he and Barnes had been romantically involved, he said, so-so, though Barnes denied it. In November 1990, Pump It Up did another story on NWA, who were on the tail end of promoting the EP, 100 Miles and Running.
Oh, boy. Anyway, here we y'all think, man. That was pretty good. What do y'all think about that? Charles Arnaz World. Subscribe to that channel. Link in the description. And also subscribe to the Griot. They didn't go really in detail. Y'all can watch the rest of it on Charles Arnaz World. That's the channel you can watch it on. I think that, some of the stuff I already knew. I didn't know that him and Dee Barnes supposedly was messing around. I thought he just got mad at her. Because she had this show called Pump It Up that would come on late night on Saturday nights. It was like a hip hop rap type show. They would show like hip hop videos. And in between, she would be at different locations. And on this particular episode, she was on location when they was filming Boys in the Hood. And Ice Cube was there, had just left NWA. Of course, Ice Cube was there filming. And he said something about NWA, and she kind of just laughed, and they took that as a diss. But anyway, y'all can see the rest of the video on YouTube, find out what happened between her and Dr. Dre. Yeah, I remember this. I was maybe in elementary school now. That stuff was going down. What was that? Yeah. Trying to think. It came out in 1991. I might have just gotten to middle school. I think might have been in the 5th or 6th grade when all that stuff went down. Yeah, he got arrested for that shit and all that, man. Yeah, I remember that. Something I didn't know. They said something that I forgot. I was getting ready. I should have wrote that down. But it was something I didn't know about Eazy's association with somebody. I forgot what it was. But interesting story. What do y'all think, man? Leave your comments and subscribe to the Griot. Appreciate you guys watching. Take care.